Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me today because, well, we are taking a deep dive into an incredible piece of industrial engineering. If you're the kind of person who loves figuring out how the physical world actually works, the hidden structures that literally hold our infrastructure together, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking a structural material perfectly micro-engineered to deliver, frankly, insane macro-level strength. So think about this for a second. What actually holds up a heavy-duty trailer bouncing down the highway with thousands of pounds of cargo? Or, say, a slippery, wet scaffolding 50 feet up on a commercial job site? Or even a rocking concert stage vibrating with tons of heavy gear? Now you might be thinking, well, it's just steel or concrete doing all the heavy lifting, right? Actually, scratch that. The real answer often lies in a highly specialized engineered wood paneling system designed specifically to conquer these severe real-world physical challenges. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll look at the ultimate surface challenge. Second, the anatomy of Hexa Plywood. Third, the core technical specifications. And finally, we'll wrap up with real-world applications. Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1. The ultimate surface challenge and surviving extreme stress. To really appreciate a brilliant solution, we first have to respect the problem it's solving. And industrial environments, they are completely unforgiving. They demand extreme wear resistance and incredibly high anti-slip performance. Just imagine a construction crew out there working on scaffolding in the pouring rain, or a massive logistics vehicle dealing with the intense, grinding friction of loading and unloading sharp, heavy cargo every single day. Standard materials just can't hack it. They break down, they warp, or worse, they become massive slip hazards. There's a desperate need out there for an elite surface solution that can handle this relentless daily abuse without failing. Which brings us right to part 2, anatomy of Hexa Plywood and its microscopic engineering. We're going to shift our perspective now and zoom all the way in to analyze the almost biological-like structure of this material. Enter Hexa Plywood. Simply put, it's an aesthetic, highly durable structural panel featuring a high anti-slip honeycomb pattern. And that honeycomb shape, which, by the way, is exactly where it gets the name hexa from, is the absolute secret ingredient here. It serves this beautiful dual purpose. Functionally, it gives you that vital, high anti-slip grip that's mandatory for industrial safety. But it also creates a really clean, uniform finish that modern commercial construction and interior designers are absolutely loving right now. Now, standard filmed plywood is great for certain things, don't get me wrong. It has a super smooth, water-resistant surface, which makes it perfect for pouring concrete where you actually want the material to slide right off without sticking. But if you need to safely walk on it or secure a shifting load, that smooth surface is a total nightmare. It's incredibly dangerous. The unique textured grip of Hexa Plywood completely flips the script. It transforms a simple moisture barrier into a secure, high-traction floor that can bear serious loads. Let's peel back the layers and look at the anatomy, starting with what I call the skeleton of the panel. At its structural core, Hexa Plywood relies on birch or exotic hardwood. These specific raw woods aren't chosen at random. They provide unbelievably high structural strength, while still being totally workable when crews need to cut, drill, or install them on site. Now, the real muscle here? That would be the binding agent, keeping the whole shebang together. The WBP glue. WBP stands for water and boil proof. So yeah, this is definitely not your standard hardware store wood glue. It is a heavy-duty industrial formula engineered to make sure those hardwood layers survive extreme moisture, driving rain, and crazy temperature swings without ever delaminating or falling apart. All right, remember this number, 220. This refers to the 220 grams per square meter of hexagonal pattern phenolic film that's applied directly to the surface of the wood. This thick phenolic film acts as the protective skin. They press it onto the core under massive heat and pressure, locking in that honeycomb texture permanently. It's exactly what makes the board so unyielding against intense wear and tear. So, we've seen the internal anatomy. Let's look at the hard numbers. Moving on to Section 3, Core Technical Specifications. This is the exact engineering data the pros need to know. Breaking down the core specs, we've got the WBP glue and the birch or exotic hardwood core we just talked about. They come in standard dimensions of 1250 by 2500 millimeters. But the absolute key here is the thickness range, from a relatively thin 9 millimeters all the way up to a massive 30 millimeters. And that range is super important. A kid's playground surface obviously has very different load-bearing requirements than the bed of an 18-wheeler, right? By the way, if you're a professional looking to actually source this material, or you need to verify these exact standardizations and export specs for an upcoming commercial project, you can just reference the full technical catalog over at b2bxm.com. It's a fantastic, quick resource for getting the exact engineering parameters you need to move forward confidently. Let's see how all this engineering actually comes together. Jumping into our final section, Section 4, Real-World Applications, Macro Strength in Action. Because it perfectly balances that rugged durability with a surprisingly clean aesthetic, Hex Plywood is used literally everywhere. We're talking heavy trailer and truck floors, scaffolding platforms, outdoor playgrounds, and massive stage and podium floors. But because of that cool honeycomb look, it's actually making its way indoors too, into high-end furniture, interior decoration, and heavy-duty shelving and showcase systems. Take logistics and transport, for example. We're talking about supporting massive, shifting loads on the highway. By using those super thick 30mm panels with the heavy 220-gram phenolic film, manufacturers are building flatbeds for trucks and trailers that are essentially indestructible. They won't rot out or lose their structural integrity even after months of hauling abrasive freight on the open road. And honestly, it all comes back to safety and relentless grip when it matters most. Whether a crew is 50 feet up on wet scaffolding or a rock band is jumping around a high-energy concert stage, this surface locks footwear and equipment right into place. That honeycomb pattern mechanically reduces slip and fall accidents in some of the highest risk environments imaginable. It's a real game changer. So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. The next time you're standing on a stage or walking past a construction site, or even just driving next to a heavy-duty trailer on the highway, ask yourself, what is actually supporting all that weight? It's not just regular wood. It is heavily engineered, honeycomb-patterned perfection. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today. Stay curious, keep analyzing the hidden engineering all around us, and I will catch you in the next explainer.